My name is Casey Seymour. I'm the location manager for the Bridgeport location of 21st Century Equipment in Bridgeport, Nebraska. I've been in the farm equipment business for almost 16 years now. So when I look at data, to me, it's the you really have to have data to figure out what it is that you're going to do and how you're going to move forward, whether it's sales or in marketing or whatever it might be. You've got to have that data point to know what you're going to do and where you need to go to attack and what you're trying to do. So when I use data, especially from like EDA and those kind of things, when I'm trying to find customer portfolios and those kind of things as to where the next sale is going to come from or where the next target base needs to be, using data and drawing that data points from any place I can find it that makes sense, I'm going to use it to make sure I can get that job done. We're kind of focused on the used equipment side of our business because that's the side of the business that we always have a kind of a churn that we have to always be looking for. The new side of the business typically is easier to find new buyers than it is to find aged buyers of used equipment, those kind of things. So we might have a group of older combines, for example, right now. So if you take a look at the used equipment marketplace and you see what's going on out there, anything that was built between 2012 and 2014, at any spectrum of the ag equipment business, there's a lot of that stuff out there right now because of the very good years for farming and a lot of new equipment got produced then. A lot of equipment got traded in. So right now there's a lot of that specific year model out there that we're trying to find customers for. So one thing that we use data for quite a bit is trying to isolate that trade cycle, what that looks like. And the reason that we try to isolate the trade cycle, understand what that looks like and what each customer is going to do, is that brings us a new level of a touch point for each customer. So if we know traditionally by looking back at UCC data and those kind of things that we have out there, that a customer trades every 3 years, and he's typically buying that 3-year-old piece of equipment or a 5-year-old piece of equipment or a 7-year-old piece of equipment, whatever that might be. We now know that we can go out and say, all right, we know that Farmer A is going to trade every 3 years and they want a 1-year-old machine. So we've got all these 1-year-old machines over here. We can start targeting customer A with. Customer B, when they come up, they might buy a new tractor every 5 to 7 years, and they're 6 years into that 5 to 7 year trade cycle. We can start now having that conversation with them about, are you wanting a 3-year-old machine or you want a 2-year-old machine? We do have these right now. We're offering 0% for 36 months on this specific unit if you want to go ahead and trade now and kind of work through that thing. So, yeah, I mean, doing those kind of things right there has definitely put us in a position where we can make those decisions based on what the customer's traditional buying structure looks like. We're going to them with a deal that they're already probably thinking about anyway, and that kind of puts us down that path of kind of leapfrogging that trade cycle a little bit, maybe like a year or so, that we get that customer to come back in and purchase that piece of equipment from us. We have a PSP program every year. It's a product service program that we bring in, and the idea is to keep the shops full during the wintertime when you're not during planting season or harvest season or something like that. The more traditional, slower times of the year, try to get the guys to bring in their piece of equipment from the shed and bring it in to get repaired. And, really, we can use that same data again to go back and take a look at, using UCC data and those kind of things. I can look and see when the last time they have a note out there, what that looks like. Has it been 5 or 6 years? Has it been 2 years? Been 3 years? Whatever it might be that they have this information available. And then I can start making targeted plans as to how we're going to go out and attack those individual customers based on the product that they have and what our capability is to go out and service those pieces of equipment in a timely fashion, right? So I don't want to fill my shop up with 500 combines because we never get them done, but I also don't want to fill it up with 500 tractors either because we probably can't get those done. So we need to find that even mix, and each one of those machines offer a different revenue source that some more, some less. Helps us look at parts. If we're going to go out and target a bunch of combine folks, we want to make sure we have the combine parts in our inventory that we need to go out and target people with. So building programs out of that too, and really isolating those customers that we want to keep in our fold as much as we can and kind of create that stickiness as we go out and build that relationship. I mean, one thing I do, we go back and look at our data that we pull on each customer that buys a new piece. I'm really intrigued by who comes in and buys that trade in the most often, right? And who that person is. and how's that person evolved in the trade cycle. So when I look at, farmer over here that buys something brand new, and then over the last 10 years, I can go back and look at the customer base that's bought those trade-ins year over year over year, and how often they come back to the table and buy. I can start having specific sales reps go out and talk to that specific customer again about, hey, you know what? These combines are coming back in. There's an opportunity to jump back in and buy this. We have some kind of special program going on, kind of start pushing that and nudging that a little bit down the path of turning into a sale. So probably not so much as a direct marketing type thing where I'm targeting a specific minute part of our customer base, but I know who's bought those in the past and what frequency they made those purchases, and I can then start to develop a plan of, maybe these 8 people right here are good targets to talk about this one combine or something like that. That we've used that data in the past to make those sales happen. That's that database that we have built up in our CRM or UCC data or whatever that is that's out there that we can go draw from. And there are varying levels of customer bases that you're going to find in there, and who you thought was some customer didn't have any money or wasn't really going to, it might turn out to be your biggest customer. And by just overturning those rocks and going out and look, but you've got to have the data, you've got to pull that data, and you've got to find where that data makes sense and where that meets that payoff point. And to me, I'm constantly looking for what the next best thing is when it comes to how to go out and sell more equipment. And the best way we can do that is by watching these trends develop on this data information, and who are the new customers coming in and where are they coming from and why are they here. Let's go out and see if we can't solve some problems they might have with some of the solutions that we have that we're able to provide here. So if you're doing the same thing, the same way you've always done it, you're going to get the same exact, response to everything that you've done. You're not going to grow your business. That's that simple. So you got to use data, and if you're not using data, you're a dinosaur. I promise you.